Have you ever asked yourself recently if you are really fine? Or you have forgotten it already, and now you find yourself deep down with sadness and a feeling of isolation? Hello, friends, this is JD Herbolario, and welcome to Daily Dose of Nosred John, a sharing of inspiration for life and living. Today, we are going to have a series on happiness, and we are going to start on our emotional well being. Well being is synonymous with happiness. And one of the contributors to our happiness is the state of our emotions. If you are very observant of what you feel, you may realize that emotions are actually fluids. They flow and they are very dynamic. Well, let me clear on this. You will notice that at the time when you are angry or disappointed, you may experience some burst of energy or weight on your head or even on your chest. And they sometimes flow towards your fists, which makes you so quick to respond into punching something or somebody. Sometimes it flows through your mouth, and you tend to say cursing words. People who are extremely sad and suicidal tend to feel nothing or numb. And it is because the emotional fluids in the body become stagnant and they are no longer flowing due to low energy. You see, unlike the physical body, our emotional bodies are very responsive. This is the reason why we are greatly hurt when people say degrading words to us, then physically attacking us. Most of the time, the wounds in the physical body easily heal, but the pains in the emotional body, once trapped and not be able to be released from our system, may stay even for decades. You know, I know a person who was really hurt by somebody who called him a loser. And it happened many years ago. And every time that he would like to try something new, the memory of the incident keeps on going back and making him emotionally affected and losing his confidence in himself. Self-esteem, or the confidence and trust in oneself, is the number one quality that is being lowered down due to impaired emotional well-being. A person who struggles in his emotional well-being finds himself restless, but unproductive and non-sociable. The worst part is that they are disappointed with these incapacities. They know what they are lacking, but could not respond to it for special reasons. And due to this, many people are believing that they are undergoing a certain medical problem on their mental health. Well, mental health is closely related to our emotional well-being. A person who feels extremely sad and unsatisfied with his functionalities may find himself uneasy and mentally disturbed. When this happens, a person must be recommended to visit a professional specialist who is more or less familiar to mitigate the symptoms and identify interventions to process the root cause of the problem. As a person involved in education, it is part of my experience to deal with many students who are undergoing emotional distresses. Most of them are transitory, and the person to talk to and give them advice is enough. But a few would share that their experience is prolonged and it is already affecting their daily activities. In that case, I would approach the student and tell her not to avert the sensations, but to freely let them be felt at the moment. I ask the students to do deep breathing in and breathing out, close their eyes and feel the sensations deep inside. I join them in the process of being a guide and not an advisor. I ask them to describe what they feel, and they would respond based on shapes, textures, and even colors. Without judgments, I would ask them to focus on those sensations as they become aware of their breathing and gently be aware of their hands and feet as they breathe out. The reason for this is the principle that emotions are fluids. They flow and there are energies trapped in the body. When we focus on sensations, we are giving time for the trapped energies to get loose and be directed to flow out from the body. After the session, I would advise the student to relax or even fall asleep. This sometimes mitigates the root cause of emotional distress, but for others, some remnants remain, and the person may need another session to process them. As an alternative, I would also advise letting the body be physically active with exercises that involve deep breathing, like yoga or jogging or physical exercise or even just walking. Knowing that emotions are fluids, boosting up energy develops momentum to redirect the trapped negative energies out. Science says that certain good chemicals are released once we exercise, and it can help mitigate the problem. Other ways are to eat vegetables and fruits. Not only that it improves your health, but also gives you good nutrients to boost your immunity and capacity for happiness. And lastly, of course, we need to have meditation and also prayer. These are time-tested practices that really do incredible change in one's life. Emotional well-being is a broad and complex issue. But if everybody would try to be more caring and be more aware of oneself, then emotional distress caused by unfiltered and trapped energies in the body would be resolved. A very inspiring personality in martial arts mentioned that for us to be invincible, we have to be like a water that flows. Just like in the context of our emotional well-being, we must not hold on to unwholesome energies, and we need to let these unwholesome energies naturally flow out from our system. If we let things naturally go, we become more aware of our capacity to move on and be conscious that we are larger than our emotions. We are in fact not our emotions. Emotions are impermanent, very unimportant, very transitory. It gives us happiness, and later it will let us feel sadness. It is tricky, isn't it? A mere illusion. But as a human being, we are not perfect. Our entity is designed to feel pain, to get hurt, to feel pleasure and even long for it, to aspire and get motivated. With these capacities, let us not forget that our true self is not attached to any of these things, not on sadness, and not even on happiness. Our true self is like a water, very silent, and not even pleasured or hurt by anything that you put into it. Our true self is capable of genuine happiness. Our true self is waiting to be noticed. And once you have found your true self, you will have an invincible persona that will no longer be put into misery. Thanks for subscribing to the Daily Dose of Nosred John, a sharing of inspiration for life and living. See you on my next entry, and have a nice day. Have you ever asked yourself recently if you are really fine? Or you have forgotten it already, and now you find yourself deep down with sadness and a feeling of isolation? Hello friends, this is JD Herbolario, and welcome to Daily Dose of Nosred John, a sharing of inspiration for life and living. Today, we are going